Well, episode 2 of season 3 of the Ricky Gervais Show, with me, Ricky Gervais, Stephen Merchant.
Hello there.
And Karl Pilkington.
All right.
What's been going on? What's been going on?
I've been to hospital. I was rushed to hospital, like emergency and that. Had a tube put on my knob.
You had a tube put up your knob?
Yeah.
What's the story?
Kidney stones.
Ooh.
So, shouldn't really be here, to be honest, doing this. He said rest and that. Climbing them stairs on the way in.
To be quite honest, it doesn't look like you're expending a lot of energy at the moment. It's like at Zookeeper going, oh, that sloth move today. Calm down.
Yeah, but I had to get here. It's been raining.
Yeah.
I had to come up the stairs. I had to carry the computer.
Yeah.
Well, that's not entirely true, because your girlfriend was carrying it. I saw her outside.
Yeah, but I'm just saying.
And then you handed it to me and said, Steve,
God
carry this.
Almighty.
So
Yeah, I know.
that's already a lie.
Christ almighty. Whinging.
Not whinging.
I'm in show business. I know loads of people that wake up every day with a sore knob, feeling like they've had their kidneys probed, and they will say they're unconscious. So they don't whinge about it. They get straight back onto it. They, a lot of them on TV now.
Yeah, straight back to hosting game shows.
So you're rushed to hospital.
So take us through the events, because it does sound quite dramatic. You started feeling a bit of pain, did you, initially?
Felt a bit of pain, and I thought, maybe I just pulled a muscle or something when I've been wrestling with Ricky and that, because you don't know what damage has been done. So I just think, it'll go in a minute, and then it didn't. It got a bit badder.
It got badder, did it?
So then I thought, I
dear.
was crippled. I was lying on the floor in agony, looking on the internet, looking for sort of
Still looking up
solutions.
monkey news.
No, I just put in like bellyache and stuff, and they were saying it can be loads of different things. And what I used to do when I was a kid, I used to always just get a cold ashtray and put that on my belly, and the coldness used to get rid of the badness.
Amazing.
The coldness got me.
Well, like a witch doctor.
Yeah.
This is like
A witch doctor happens to work in a pub.
it's like some sort of 5th century remedy
Yeah.
written in mud. Coldness doth get away with the badness.
Why specifically an ashtray?
Just because they were sort of old cold.
They're old cold.
I
What?
don't know what this is. I love this idea that he's had the operation and he comes round and they're talking to him, and his girlfriend gets a phone call and they say, Mr. Pilkington's maybe complications. He's just talking rubbish. She goes, oh, good.
Yeah, he's back to his old self. What? Why specifically an ashtray? Sorry, because it's old cold. I understand it's old cold.
Yeah, we understand. Everyone who's done a medical degree understands old cold, but old cold belly madness. If you want to buy that book, Old Cold Belly Madness, it's the history of abdominal surgery by Karl Pilkington.
No, it just
But do you put it in the freezer or something
you
first?
can do if you want, but they're normally cold anyway. It's sort of thick glass, and that it holds the cold. But we don't smoke in our house, so I had to use a plate.
Oh, well, that's madness. A plate's not going to work. Famously, a plate doesn't work.
No! Oh,
So you put a plate on your belly, but that didn't do any.
That didn't work. So called Suzanne and said, "Oh, I'm in agony here." She said, "Go to the doctors then."
Good advice.
So
A lot of people have done that straight away, as opposed to going through the plate ashtray.
So he got into hospital, and he went to hospital and he said, have you got an ashtray?
They went, no, especially an ashtray.
This is no smoking.
So anyway, so then we get in a cab and what have you, go there. I have an X-ray,
His voice is even more boring than usual, isn't it?
Extraordinary, isn't it? Yeah.
Fuck me.
and they put me on a drip and everything, give me some morphine and stuff, and found out that I had kidney stones. So that's why I was in hospital. And they get them out by... I don't know what's gone on, to be honest. I've got some tube inside me, from my kidney to my bladder. That's helping me stuff get about.
And so there's a little tube up the end of your knob into your...
Yeah, it's not there now, it's high up.
Right.
So it's high up between my kidney and my bladder.
But why didn't you have the thing where they go in the side? You had the choice to...
Because I said to the doctor, I'm not a doctor. I said, what do you think?
He went, stop putting yourself down, Carl.
He said,
we need you in the operating theatre now.
he just said, I said to him, what should I have done? Because he said, if you want, go home, and we'll get you in again or something. Something like that. And I said, no, I might as well have it done properly. Have it done now whilst I'm here.
Sorry, the choice was have it done properly or go home.
It was something like that. He said there's something you can do, and I said, oh,
Flush it out.
no, because it's too big. It's something like 7mm.
And it's basically because you don't drink enough water.
Yeah. So anyway, I said, what do you think I should have done? And he said, tube up the knob. And I said, not my favourite one of the choice, but if that's what you think. So he said, yeah, have that. He did me little diagrams, which didn't help. He was like showing.
How big did he draw your knob?
Sort of normal size.
Yeah, was it?
It was all right.
You weren't offended by them.
But he went into detail. It's just, more the tubes and stuff in your bladder and your kidney.
What was your ball bag like? Did he draw that?
He didn't do that bit. He left that bit out.
Okay, right.
But he said, we'll just pop that up there, and then that's when Ricky turned up to visit. Came in laughing at me because we sat there in like me underpants and stockings.
In stockings?
Yeah.
Why were you dressed
He was
as
there. No, he wasn't in bed. He was sort of out of bed with his little drip, right? He had his little boxer shorts on, just sat there, right, in his pants, right, and he had stockings on.
Yeah, because they stop clots or something. They put them on your legs. It's like, when people have got big veins and they go on a plane.
Right. Yeah.
You said you're not a doctor.
No, but I've seen it because Suzanne's mum did it, and she put them on ridiculously early, like 3 days before we were going away, and she'd never been away before, and everything was like over the top. Do you know what I mean? She was like, I best put them on. And so I put them on, and they I don't know what it is. It's something when you're under, your blood doesn't move about the same,
Right.
and it can clot up in your leg. So you wear these tight tights.
And I came in to cheer him up, didn't I?
Yeah.
Was that a nice, cheery experience, him coming in?
I had a headache at the time. I think I was a bit stressed out.
Well, he's just the man you want at that point.
Yeah.
He reassured you, I imagine.
Well, it's weird how it suddenly all happened quick. It was like as soon as he came in, it's like they got the finger out. And when I say
Not
that,
literally.
I mean,
Yeah.
suddenly I was being rushed down to, have my stuff done. And I woke up and there was an Irish woman over me going, are you all right? You all right? And I said, oh, it's stinging a bit. She said, I'll give you some more morphine. And I sort of put my head up to have a look at my tackle because I wanted to see
If it was still there.
what was attached to it. Do you know what I mean? Because they said something about they might leave some string hanging out of it so they can pull the tube out.
It makes you talk.
So I had a look for that. Couldn't see any of that.
Yeah.
But as she put the morphine in, all the muscles in your body go funny. My head just collapsed.
Your head collapsed.
I sort of looked up to look at my stuff, but then she said, oh, you just need a little bit of morphine. And she put that in, and I just sort of went, oof. And then they sent me home about 2 hours after. But I'm in agony now, and...
Are you in agony right now as we speak?
Yeah, it's hurting.
Now, are you a man who's had this kind of hospital experience before? Is this your whole first time?
I don't go to hospitals and stuff, because I don't like them messing about. But it does make you think now, do you know what I mean? Like, life and everything. It's weird how it's all happened in the last month, from seeing that bee sort of die.
No.
Well, not really.
No. This is not a near-death experience.
It is
You
a
had a
little bit.
routine operation to remove kidney stones because you don't drink enough water.
No, I know, but...
This is not a shark attack.
Yeah, but it's all life-threatening, otherwise you wouldn't have to fill out forms, would you, saying, if everything goes wrong, Suzanne can have the house or whatever. And then you find out more about the body as well, which has been sort of doing me head in a bit. You're more aware of stuff in your body, which I don't like knowing about.
Yeah.
They keep taking your heartbeats and stuff, and your blood pressure. I don't like knowing about that. I just leave it. It's happening. Don't be messing with it. Stop measuring it.
Stop measuring it!
No, do you know what I mean?
That's the same with a knob.
It's that thing of like, they put that thing
That's what
on.
the anaesthetist was doing when you were under, wasn't it?
Yeah.
He was comparing the diagram to the actual thing.
Oh, God.
The fella across the way from me had the same thing as me, but he'd had it a couple of days ago when he was in agony. So that doesn't help when he's saying, oh, I've been to hell and back. Like, don't tell me that.
Sure.
I don't want to know. Just say it was all right and stuff. So it just the whole thing of a hospital is stressful. You know what I mean? They wake you up like every half an hour in the night, saying, how do you feel? It's like, well, what, it's 3:30. What are you doing? I've got to have it done again in a couple of weeks. because what they've done now, they've popped that straw up, but the stone's still in there because they didn't have the laser team in with them. Blast the stone, and then that time they're probably going to leave a little bit of string out the end. Then they have to go about 3 days later and they pull it out. Tell you what though, when you are because when you're in hospital, you've got a lot of time just to sit there and think about stuff. And what I was thinking about is, what is the closest thing sort of living that's nothing?
I don't know what you mean.
What?
What's like the closest, like, do you know at some point something's gone from nothing to something? Hasn't it?
No, I don't understand what you mean.
Something, at some point people were nothing, and then something happened and there was something. Do you know what I mean?
But they were never nothing, were they?
Do you mean what is the first and lowest and most primitive and most simple form of life?
No,
He's right here in this room, Rick.
say like when you look at a stick insect,
Right.
you go, right, there's a slight crossover there from a stick to a living thing.
No, it's not.
It didn't used to be a stick.
No, it's not. There's no biological relationship between it and a stick.
But there isn't much difference between the two, is what I mean.
Of course there is.
It's a huge
There isn't.
difference.
They just sit there looking like a stick. That's their skill.
Yes, but there's nothing to do with being a stick. It's like camouflage. That's like saying when a soldier puts on combat gear, you're saying he's a cross between a human and a shrub. He's not a cross between a human and a shrub.
No,
is he?
but that's man-made
From a distance,
stuff.
you can't see him. That's the same as the stick
No,
insect.
but that isn't what I'm saying. What I'm saying is, have you seen them weird things that just look like they sort of look like a leaf?
Yeah, there are insects that have evolved to look like a leaf. So a bird thinks, oh, there's no tea there.
No,
That's
but
not a juicy insect. It's a leaf. I don't eat leaves.
Yeah, but at
Forget
some
it.
point, something has had it away with a leaf.
No,
What?
at no point has something had it away with a leaf.
No, to make it look that much like a
No.
leaf.
At no point did a beetle shag a leaf. There's nothing on a genetic level or molecular level, anything to do with it having anything to do with a stick or a leaf. It's superficial. It's the way it looks. That's all it. That's like saying chameleons must have mated with green once. They are green.
No, but
it
what-
looks like a leaf.
What I don't understand is,
It has evolved to blend in perfectly with its surroundings and fool predators.
but then how does it meet? How does it have relationships? It will be going around sort of having it away with a leaf.
No, it won't, because it doesn't know what it looks like. It doesn't matter. They do it with pheromones and attraction, and it's not like they, a stick insect will be talking to a stick for ages and go, "Oh, I've wasted my time here. This club's dead." Rude.
I was chatting to her. She was foxy, but she was giving me nothing.
But Dave, that's not a stick insect. That's a stick.
What are you talking about?
That's a stick. You've been talking to a stick all night. I thought,
I can't believe it. I just thought she had a great slim figure.
no, it's actually a real stick.
But I've been reading a lot about, you know, I like spiders and stuff. Just reading about them. And there's one, right? It's got big legs.
Yeah.
Doesn't use them. It goes around floating in the air on a bit of webbage. Like a
He
kite.
just took a gamble then, didn't he? He took a gamble. He thought, do you know what? I'm going to go with webbage. Don't know if it's a word, not sure, but I could just say web, and I'm going to go with webbage. I'm going to risk it. And it didn't pay off, did it?
Webbage!
But that's how it gets about. It's in the air like a kite.
Yeah.
And it's just floating about.
I've seen one, yeah.
So that's what I'm saying about weirdness. The way all that goes on, and this is what I can't get my head round.
You have got your head round.
But do they get ill then?
He's just, for those listening at home, he has just bumped his head against the microphone.
Trying to mate with it because it's perfectly round, this microphone.
No, but when I was, like, this is what I'm saying, when I was in hospital and stuff, you do think about how others live, because insects don't have operations. Are they built better than us to survive in this world?
the trap you seem to fall into again and again and again is you cannot conceive of the fact that insects and animals do not have consciousness and personality and communication. They do not function in the way that humans do. You've seen so many Disney cartoons, you believe them now to have a life and wear bowler hats and go to work. But just in the same way that the cavemen didn't have Flintstone-type cars and have a little house,
But
you
then-
can't seem to understand that animals don't work in that way.
But what I mean is, you're saying that no animals or insects know anything, yet when you see them things on nature programmes where a load of ants are having a walk, there's always one at the front who's leading it all. So one of
Well, you
them's
just
got to
happen to
know
be
something.
first. Or there are leaders in.
Yeah, but the other ants are going follow him.
No, they're not. They're not. They're not vocalising that in any sense
No,
that
they're
you
not saying
understand
follow
it.
him, but they sort of look as if to sort of say, "I'm
But
going this way,"
without cognitive
speaking.
reasoning.
It's not made a conscious decision to act in that way.
Yeah, but this is when you
If a
get-
bird, if a raindrop falls on a bird's beak and it moves away because instinctively it's hardwired to be wary of things which drop on its beak in case it's dangerous. It's not thinking, "Oh crumbs, I better get out of the way." It just does it because it's somehow hardwired into it to act that way. But it doesn't stop for a moment and think, which we don't really, except we then are able to rationalise our fears and our actions.
Well, I've been watching birds more than insects recently.
Oh, okay, you've moved on from
in the
insects.
last week, just because I've sort of looked at the ant and the bee and that. And what I've found with pigeons is they've got wings, yet they walk a lot.
I'd love that to be a thesis where he got like a £500,000 grant from a university, and I said, "Well, Pilkington seems to he's done ants and he's done bees. He's followed ants. Apparently, they're not doing anything. Some of them are lazy. We are granting him another £500,000. He's been working on it for a year. Please welcome Karl Pilkington."
Carl, what have you found?
Well, even though pigeons have wings, they walk a lot.
No, but even in times of danger, one was crossing the road and a car was coming, and you'd think that its head would say, "Best start flying." Yet he just walked faster.
Well,
Well, what's he doing?
it was doing stuff, wasn't it? It saved a bit of energy. Takes a lot to take off, doesn't it?
Yeah, but it's either that or you're going to get crushed.
But it
Use the
didn't
energy.
get crushed, did it?
No, I don't think it did. No.
There you go. They knew what it was doing, didn't it?
Yeah, it just annoyed me. That's all. It's got a power, and it's not.
Power. They're all
They're all
superpowers. These
like, yeah.
animals.
But that's why he thinks of the stick insect as like that. He mentioned earlier that's its power, that's its skill. Like Spider-Man was bitten by a radioactive spider, and now he can solve crimes and swing with webbage, using his webbage. Whereas, yeah, stick insects it's not a superpower.
But say if everything was at the same size as us, what would be the best thing to be? Say like a tarantula
Yeah.
and a tiger. What would happen there?
A 15-stone tiger versus a 15-stone tarantula.
Yeah.
Well, I'd imagine the 15-stone tarantula.
Right, so it's just weird that, innit? It's a good job that they're small. Yet things are getting bigger because we're messing with the
But
world.
it's a ridiculous thing to say, isn't it? Because what would it eat? 15 stone. Well, it wouldn't happen anyway, because insects have insects and arachnids and invertebrate arthropods in general. They have a critical mass because they haven't got lungs. They breathe through things in their side called spiracles, and if it gets too big, the surface to volume ratio isn't big enough to allow it enough oxygen. So the biggest you'll find is like a foot-long beetle or something weird
It's
like
big
that.
though, isn't it?
Yeah, and that's about as big as they get.
He's
So I
going to
wouldn't
kill
worry
that.
about it.
Again, based on nothing, he queries
It's not,
you.
and also, it's not a case that one that will be born too big and can't breathe. It won't happen. That's why they're only that big, because of
But it's
that
like
restriction.
fish, isn't it? How they say about a goldfish.
Yeah.
That thing about a woman who went on holiday and stuck it in a bath. She came back, it was 7 foot.
Right, that didn't happen.
No, that's a well-known thing about
No, it's not a
goldfish.
well-known
When's
thing.
the- what?
I'll tell you why. Because a fish will only grow to its surroundings anyway. So
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
you have
It's
to put it in a bigger tank.
yeah, in a bath.
No, a 7-foot fish in a bath. It just fit the bath exactly, did it?
When she got back off holiday,
Don't talk shit.
It's a
What was it
well-known-
eating? What was it eating?
How long was she gone for? 2 million years?
yeah. She went to Mars and back.
Yeah.
It's just that fish are weird, aren't they?
Well, no, there's
Again.
no, that's a bollocks story. Once again,
No,
I don't know where you've heard it or read it.
It's a
or
well-known story.
a 7-foot goldfish in your bath.
But, no, fish are weird.
Ted,
like
you're
that.
not going to believe this. Come up here.
Well, how many fish do you see that have naturally died? That's the weird thing.
What do you mean?
Just ping-ponging around these ideas in your mind.
You just never see fish sort of just floating about in the water and you go, oh, died of old age. It's always been caught by a man or a shark's at it. You don't just see dead fish washed up, do you? When you think of the
Sometimes.
amount of fish, not when you think of the amount of fish that are in the sea, there's loads of them, and yet you never
Because they're eaten
walk
straight
down the
away.
beach. That's what I'm saying, though. Are they eaten when they're dead, or are they just being eaten?
Well, most things like that don't die of old age.
Yeah, that's weird, though, isn't it?
Well, no, because it's a jungle out there.
Yeah, no, that's why I said I wouldn't want to live in the sea. Because you've got to
Are
be
you
on-
sure you're not on morphine as we speak?
No, but in the sea, you've got to be constantly sort of alert, haven't you?
Yeah,
amount
but
of
that's
stuff.
true of all animals.
No, worse than the sea. The sea is like full of... you've got an enemy round every rock.
I love it! I love it! I love it's like a warning to crabs
Exactly.
and young squid. It's like the policeman that comes into your school.
Yeah.
What advice would you give? Okay, then. What advice would you give?
Some plankton.
Now, what advice would you give a 2-week-old octopus?
And what am I? Am I an octopus?
No,
you're yourself.
you. We've set it up that it can understand you with some sort of one of your inventions to talk to the animals. One of your brilliant inventions is just a watch you strap on its tentacle and it can understand human talk. But I'm sure you'll come up with that one day. What do you say to it? What would you say to an octopus, a young octopus who wants to set out by himself in the sea?
Stay close to the rocks. And just let it know about the thing about it can get into a small space. You know, if you look at an hole, don't go, oh, I can't get in there. And sort of squash it and show itself. I can roll it into a ball and sort of say, look at that. Is that hurting?
I love the fact that the drugs make no difference. It's like there's no difference. Oh, God.
Because that's the only thing that's got in it. It's boneless. So
That's its special power.
that's what it can do. You can roll it up, and as long as it knows that. But that's the problem with a lot of powers, isn't it? That's the same thing about how people say don't have a go at bees because they're not like wasps. They don't sting you because once they sting you, they die. That doesn't know that, does it?
It's also not true, but yeah.
Do you know what I mean? It doesn't know, so it's not like the bees going around going, I'm not going to sting you because I'll die if I do.
What's your point there? I don't understand.
I'm just saying...
We shouldn't dislike bees.
Well, how do these creatures know what to do?
Instinct.
I suppose it's like that story you told me about the scorpion, isn't it? It's that, innit?
What, the scorpion and the frog?
Yeah,
What, the fable?
yeah. What was it? It was a frog
The scorpion needed to get across a river, and it said to a frog, "Can you give me a lift?" And the frog said, "Well, no, of course not, because you'll sting me. You're a scorpion." And he goes, "Well, no, why would I do that? If I sting you and I'm in the water and you drown, I drown." And the frog went, "Good point." So the frog gives him a piggyback, going across the river. Halfway across, the scorpion stings the frog, and the frog's dying. And the frog's going, "No, I'm going to die, and you're going to die. So why did you do that?" And the scorpion said, "Because I'm a scorpion." What do you think that was meant to point out?
Just sort of be careful who you help.
No. It's meant to point out that you are what you are. You are your nature.
No, but it's also that thing of like...
I'm telling you, it's nothing to do with
if you're
what the frog was...
driving
No,
and
no,
someone's hitchhiking,
No.
don't pick them up because...
No, it's nothing to do with the mentality or the reasoning or the anything to do with the frog at all. The point of it.
Well, I don't know. I think Aesop was thinking a lot about the hitchhiking problem.
It wouldn't happen. That's the problem with a lot of them fables. They're putting animals together that wouldn't meet.
Oh, whereas insects go around shagging leaves.
Well, insects are with the leaves, whereas I don't know where a scorpion is knocking around with a frog. I mean, there's that weird one I remember
He's
watching.
annoyed.
I remember hearing something about this lizard that sort of gets pally with the scorpions, even though they're not mates, they don't get on. But they've kind of got this agreement that the scorpion can live in their house if they guard it. And there's the local people used to stick their hands down these holes and get the lizards to make slippers out of them. And the lizards were getting sick of this. And I think somehow something happened where the lizards thought, look, enough's enough. We'll let you sleep in our den if you stand by the door. So the scorpion used to stand by the door and stay awake at night whilst the lizard's having a kip. Fella comes along wanting to make some new slippers, puts his hand down the hole, scorpion gets him. Now that's what's weird with that two enemies have worked together.
It's called a symbiotic relationship. But at no point did they sit down and go, right, what are we going to do? I'll tell you what, I'll give you shelter. You give me that sting in case there's a fella who wants to make slippers. Because all this happened way before people were making slippers.
But isn't it weird, though? Because people, there's nothing that happens like that in people, is there?
Of course there is.
What, like that, where you don't get on but you work with them?
Of course there is.
What?
Loads of business relationships. What do you mean?
No, but
Team up
normally you
even though
stay.
they're
What I mean is you
essentially
stay
enemies.
away if someone's being a bit weird.
Loads of examples where you might go, well, I hate to do it, but my only option is to go with X, Y, and Z.
But what I'm saying is, though, let me just finish.
Go on.
I live in an area where, I sort of know a lot of the locals, and there's a local woman who's a bit mad. Now, I know her, but I choose to sort of stay away because it scares you a bit, doesn't it, when something's like that and it's unpredictable. So, when I was in the little corner shop, she came in, right? She screams a lot, just screams for the sake of it, and you don't know if she's upset or if she's just doing it for attention. Then the scream will go from screaming to laughing. So you're like, oh, what's going on? And it was like rush
Ricky.
hour. It was like rush hour time in this shop, and she chose to go in then, and she doesn't work, so it was like, why is she coming in now? She's had all day to go in. Just pick the busy time. And she was like about 3 places in front of me, and she was only buying a Yorkie and some earbuds. Right? And I thought,
A Yorkie and some earbuds.
yeah, and I thought, what's the rush? You've come at the wrong time, and you bought stuff that could have waited. You should never have to rush out for a Yorkie or an earbud, is what I'm saying. Right? And I ended up sort of going, I can't stand this, and I left. Now, that was me being like I would expect the scorpion to be, or the lizard.
I don't know what you're talking about now.
I have
I don't
no
know where
idea.
the... Okay, then what do you mean?
No, I'm just saying how, like, I chose that woman could be dangerous, so I'll leave her to it. And that's where nature kicks in. And you go, I don't want to be here. I don't know what she's going to do. She's unpredictable. I'll pop back later. And then, I look out, I can see the shop. I saw her go, and she was, like, laughing to herself again and trying to climb up some ladders. And I thought, once she's gone, I'll nip back. I don't know what my point was. I don't know.
Oh, he's only got to reel it down.
That's the jingle for Carl's Diary. We had bacon and egg on toast. I'm eager to get through the brown sauce, as the bottle is too big to go in any cupboard, so it has to be left on the sideboard. So I had about 4 dollops of the stuff. I love that, because, that made it into the diary. He's concerned about the fact that brown sauce is too big, so he's
kitchen isn't-
rushing through it.
I know, but I'm just saying the kitchen isn't that big, and it looks messy when you leave stuff out, doesn't it? And we've got this giant brown sauce bottle, and I don't want to chuck it away because that'd be a waste.
So you're having brown sauce and everything,
On
your
everything,
cornflakes,
basically, yeah.
in your tea.
Yeah.
A wasp got in the flat. You know trouble's brewing. It was massive, the biggest wasp ever. Suzanne asked me to get it out, but I wanted to take a picture of it first. I was getting my phone ready when it flew at me. I reckon the sting on it could have killed a kitten.
So specific.
It ended up flying out the window on its own. Drama averted.
Oh, God.
We went out for tea. You're always in a cafe. That's what this diary. You spend so much time in a cafe. There were loads of flying ants. I kept kicking the table because I could feel him on my legs. I wouldn't be that jumpy normally, but I still had flashbacks of the giant wasp from the morning. Suzanne told me to stop being stupid because I was ruining her night out.
A night out in a cab. Brilliant. Oh,
what was it, her birthday?
And flashbacks from an incident.
Yeah.
Like he's some sort of, like, war veteran. What is it? It's the wasp. It could have killed a kitten.
Bought some wallpaper. We got back and got on with it. The wall that we've papered before has got a big mirror under it. We papered on top of it again. I ended up reading my phrase book while Suzanne did the rest of the tidying up. Now, what's your phrase book? This is just you trying to master English, is it?
It's just a book that tells you little sayings and how they came about.
An interesting phrase is potluck. It came about when all people ate is stews. They used to chuck all sorts of stuff into the stew. You stuck your spoon in, and sometimes you got something nice like beef, or you could end up with a bit of frog. It's potluck.
Good, that, isn't it?
That's what it said in the book, did it?
A bit of frog.
Got up and checked the wallpaper out. There are loads of air bumps, and it's buckled on the joins. I wish we'd never done it. Suzanne said the washer was broke and it's out of its warranty. She called up the people who made it and they said it will cost £150 to fix. I don't know how they know that when they haven't even seen it. I want to smash it to bits and see what they can do for £150. So much anger.
I want to smash it to bits. That'd be great, wouldn't it? 150, you sure?
Yeah,
Come round.
yeah.
And it's just like a cube that's been through one of those car crushers.
Yeah.
150 quid, there's 150 quid, fix it.
I watched the news and calmed down a bit because there was a story about some Siamese twins who are having an operation. They've got 2 heads, 4 arms, 2 legs, 1 liver. The doctor said they will have 1 leg each. I felt bad worrying about the washer when people have bigger problems like the Siamese twins. Ricky and Steve asked me to do a poem about one day a week, so I thought I'd do one today. I can't obviously do it justice, so I should let the master read it.
You've done another poem?
Yeah, you said, just do one. If you have a day where you've had a lot of emotions.
Well, I loved the poem, and so did the listeners, and I knew they would, so if you can do that every week, that'd be a joy for me.
You can't force a poem, though.
No, I know.
A diary's easy to do, because you just write down what you're doing.
But you've got to have some really meaty subject matter to be able to write a poem, Rick, as you'll discover.
I know.
Right, so, you've heard what problems I had that day.
Go on then.
Bubbled wallpaper. What a mess. Washer dry and knackered. What a mess. Siamese twins separated. 1 leg less.
I don't know what rhyming scheme that is again. Oh, God. Oh, God. Oh. Oh, fuck me. Right, Carl, let's do a competition. Chance to win some of the product that we've got out that Carl doesn't want to talk about because he's too lazy.
No, it's not that. If it's,
well, if you do want to win a copy of this book, Ricky Gervais presents The World of Karl Pilkington. It's by all 3 of us, and it's some of the musings and thoughts and ideas from the podcasts. Carl has got some new theories. It's illustrated throughout.
By Karl Pilkington.
By Karl Pilkington. It's got excerpts from the diary. They're genuine, aren't they? They're photostated things from the diary that people haven't seen, and it's fascinating read.
We can sign that. We can also give you a copy of this new 3-disc set CD of the best of. Is it the first series of the Ricky Gervais Show?
Yeah, well, it's got everything actually. It's got the whole 12 first series that we did with the Guardian Unlimited, the award-winning, record-breaking podcast. It's also got some excerpts. If you want the best of, you can put that on. And it's got 1 hour of new material, which we recorded especially for it, but you can't get that. You can't buy that in the shops till the 13th of November. And I throw in the new Flanimals book, Flanimals of the Deep. It's the 3rd in the trilogy, Carl. Are you excited about that?
Yeah.
And the question is, do you want them?
Okay, that's the quiz question.
That's the quiz question, yeah.
Okay. Is that a trick question?
No. It's just the first correct answer. I'm not going to go over what the correct answer is, but do you want them? And think, if you do want them, then that might, you know, what's the answer? And you can send that to
podcast@rickygervais.com. Include your name and address, and if you're the lucky winner, then we will send this stuff to you if you want it.
And it's the first come, first serve, okay? So the first correct answer to the question, do you want it? Do you want that stuff? Do you want Flanimals and the CD box set and the book and that?
Okay, well, if you know the correct answer to that, podcast@rickygervais.com. Good luck, everyone.
Well, thank you for listening to the first of these 3 special podcasts with Guardian Unlimited. The next one is out for Thanksgiving, 23rd of November.
We don't actually celebrate Thanksgiving. What is Thanksgiving?
It's a thing in America.
Right.
It's like the big holiday. Probably rivals Christmas. Probably bigger than Christmas in.
Well, what do we do here?
But we don't celebrate here, do we?
So it's a date, isn't it?
Yeah, but no one's going to remember that, are they?
23rd of November they can remember, can't they?
Yeah, but it's nice.
Well, they should remember that's one day before my birthday if we're going to celebrate anything.
Okay, well, you've got this one. The next one's the 23rd of November, and the next one's the 25th of December. Well, how can I remember 25th of December?
Well, that's fair enough, that's Christmas, but Thanksgiving, we don't celebrate Thanksgiving.
Okay, the next one's out about the 23rd of November, then after that, about
the day before my birthday.
Oh, they're going to remember that, aren't they? It's Steve Day in Bristol. Yeah. Anyway, if you've enjoyed this special edition of the Ricky Gervais Show, the entire back catalogue is still available on iTunes under audiobooks, by the way, not podcasts, audiobooks, and you can get everything we've ever done. I'd like to thank the guys at Positive Internet for hosting this. Those great guys, what would we do without them? So, it's goodbye from me, goodbye from Steve Merchant,
Bye.
and goodbye from Karl Pilkington. Right. Welcome to the second in this series of 3 special free podcasts with The Guardian Unlimited, with me, Ricky Gervais, Stephen Merchant.
Hello.
And Karl Pilkington.
Alright.
These are a special thank you to all the fans that bought the last few podcasts we've done. Still available on iTunes. You can't miss it, it's at #1 in the charts. Karl, it's Thanksgiving.
I don't know what that means. I don't know why we're doing this.
I'm slightly in agreement with you, actually. I don't celebrate Thanksgiving.
Well, no, but it was, arbitrary dates are easy to remember for some people. Halloween, Thanksgiving, Christmas. Easy to remember.
I don't think Thanksgiving is.
Well, it is in America, and...
Yeah, but I couldn't tell you, I mean, I've been around for 30 odd years. I've never celebrated one of them. I've never done anything about it. No one has. I don't know any relation who has ever said, are you popping around for Thanksgiving? I don't know, when is it? I've never done it.
Because it's not celebrated in this country.
So why are we celebrating it?
We're not celebrating it. It's an arbitrary date to do a podcast.
I just don't know what it's about. I mean, before you celebrate something...
You don't celebrate Halloween, do you? But we did that.
No, but it annoys me how people don't actually know what the occasion is, but they celebrate it. Kids don't know what Christmas is about these days. It's just like, oh, I'll get some toys. That's what I mean. So Thanksgiving, it's just another one, isn't it? It's another event.
Okay, why do you celebrate Christmas then?
Because everyone else does. You can't get away from it. I'd quite happily block it out. If I did a new diary, I'd leave out that date and go, come on, let's get on, let's do something good.
Well, you go on holiday every 2 weeks. What's that to celebrate?
No, I'm just saying.
But people need a little break, don't they? It's a great...
He doesn't.
Christmas is a great time. Even
Yeah,
if you
but
take away
the problem
religious
is, what I don't like about it is everyone's off at the same time, so everything stops. See, what I'd do is, I'd say to people, do you like Christmas? Yeah. Right, when do you want to celebrate this year? And let them do it whenever they want.
Well, that's ridiculous.
Why? As long as you're remembering baby Jesus, does it matter when you're remembering him?
But I'm an atheist and I celebrate Christmas because it's a time of year where everyone is off and everyone's getting together.
Yeah, I know.
I don't care what they call it.
The fact that we're all doing it at the same time is what's nice about it. There's a sense of community.
No.
National community.
Everyone shuts down by about December 15th or whatever. And then it doesn't get going again till like January the 6th.
But what is it you're missing out on during this period?
Just there's like 2 weeks there. I mean, that bit between Christmas and New Year, you might as well delete that out of the calendar.
Yeah, because heaven forbid you can't pop down the library because it's closed. all that reading you've got to catch up on.
I'm just saying that we're wasting time.
What are you doing that?
I've never seen anyone on this planet waste as much time as you. If you're not on holiday, you're following an insect around the fucking park. So don't give me that shit.
I'm just saying that I don't like fun.
Never a true
Well,
word
there
said.
we are. We've got to the nub of it here. You don't like fun. This is true. You don't like
Christ
anything.
almighty, you do not like fun.
No, organised fun. I hate that thing. I've said it a bit before about, it's that date, that's what you've got to do. Will there come a time when someone goes, we've done enough of this. Will there come a time, and Thanksgiving?
Possibly. Yeah, possibly, yeah. Things change, don't they?
And you'll be happy then, will you?
In 5,000 years' time, when we all worship Glong.
Yeah. Just make a change. That's all I want. Because, you know, I've been keeping a diary.
Yeah. What did you have in the cafe yesterday, for example? We can read about that later.
It's just, like Ricky said, oh, are you gonna do, you know, another one next year? And I wouldn't, because it's, you know, you do the same stuff every year, don't you? It's set up the same way. January, February, it's the same thing, it's the same routine. Yeah. And if you're writing in
Why are they always doing them in the same order, those months?
It sickens me, Rick. I tell you.
You see, it's just easy to put stuff off whilst we've got this calendar, whereas if you didn't have a date, you'd have to do everything straight away.
What?
Say if I was in charge.
Oh, God, heaven forbid, yeah.
And someone said, that building needs knocking down.
Yeah.
It's dangerous. If we didn't have a calendar, you go, let's do it now then. Whereas, because we've got a calendar, it's easy to say, next Wednesday.
I love him! His theories are amazing! I mean, I don't know, maybe he is a real visionary thinker. Maybe he is free. You know what I like about him though? All his thoughts, they're about freedom of expression in a strange way. He's not burdened by anything. He just goes, well, why do we think like that? He questions everything, like a true visionary scientist.
But who gets a diary come Christmas time, which I know you hate, you know, for the next year, and thinks, wow, what a piece of shit.
Now I've got to put something
do stuff when I want to do it.
I'm going to take out next Wednesday. There's no such thing as next Wednesday.
No, but what I'm saying is, before the year's even started, I know in that new diary I can whiz forward to December 25th and I go, another Christmas.
I don't know what you mean.
So everything's set in stone before I've even started the new year. It's like, oh, Pancake Tuesday, that's coming up. So someone's already decided.
Tuesday.
Someone's already decided.
Someone's already telling me what I'm doing on half of the year.
But all those pages are blank, Carl, for you to fill up with stuff.
Oh, guess what? Guess when my birthday is again? 23rd of September.
I'm just saying, move them about a bit, move the days about a bit, so it doesn't get predictable.
But when we change Pancake Tuesday to Thursday, do we tell anyone else?
Yeah, they do an advert on the telly, just saying, don't forget to buy your pancake mix.
But so why? Carl, why not just stick with what we've already got? Because if you're notifying everyone anyway...
I wouldn't put a date on that pancake day anyway. Just have it when you want. Have it when you want. There's no big deal. You've got to make them yourself. It's not like some place is opening to do it. Have them when you want. I don't know why that's got a special day on it. Sick of it.
Happy Thanksgiving. Thanksgiving is based on new settlers to a new land surviving.
Yeah.
And I was talking to Carl in the week. We were talking about new settlers and everything, and I was thinking, imagine if you had to start a new settlement now, okay? There was something wrong with the world, okay? The world was kaput, okay? And we found another planet. So, Carl, if you had to go to a new planet, don't worry about starting life again. They've got sort of like these breeder clones that do all that, but you can choose 6 people from this world to take to start this whole new world, okay? So you need, you know, as I say, you don't need to
So
worry
what's
about,
happening here? Is this...
It's going to be wiped out, okay? It's going to be wiped out, but there's enough on this spaceship for you and 5 other people. Okay, and they've got them there. They've got these sort of breeder clones there, so it's going to be populated. You're going to have the workers, the drones, everything like that. But you want to take 6, I suppose, sort of world lords to teach, to lay down the politics, the teachings, the laws, the government.
I'd hate it. And how long have I got to make a decision on it?
Till the end of this podcast. Right, go. Who do you take? Who's the first person you take, and why?
And where are we going? Mars.
Okay, so a planet where there's an atmosphere.
I've got to know where I'm going because I've got to sell it to the people who I'm asking. There's no point when I go, are you coming with me? Where are you going? I don't know.
It's just like this world. There's oxygen, there's seas, there's rivers, there's forests, there's animals. Okay, but we're going to populate it with the human race, and you can choose 6 people to lord over this new kingdom.
You want the best people for the job.
Yeah. So who's the first person?
Probably Patrick Moore.
Why? Why would you take Patrick Moore?
Just because he knows his way about up there, doesn't he? He'll know the way. So just have him. I think that will, whoever I pick next, if they see that he's going, they'll go, right, you know, it's going to be a long
Moore's
journey
on
as it
board.
is. You don't want someone who's going to be going, is it left here? Is it right? Do you know what I mean?
And he could play the xylophone on the journey.
But Carl is Moore the most useful person to have if you've only got 6, because he may be very useful getting to the planet.
No, but I've
once
always
you
wanted
got
to
there,
meet him as well. I've always wanted a chat, and that'd be a good chance, wouldn't it, when I'm in a rocket? How long's it taking to get to Mars?
I don't know, a year.
That's what I mean.
No, it's
so,
not Mars, it's somewhere else. Okay, so it's a year to get there and then...
yeah, well, that's what I mean. So it's a good chance to have a chat with him about stuff. And I think he'd be up for it as well, to be honest.
Yeah.
I think you know.
why do you think that?
Just because he spent his whole life talking about what's going on up there, isn't it? And yet he's never been. And I feel sorry for him. You know, most people when they're into something, they get to go to a place, don't they?
Sure.
People who don't know who Patrick Moore is, he's an 80-year-old astronomer.
Yeah, that's what I mean. So let him have a bit of a good life.
So Moore's on board.
Yeah, Patrick Moore. He's on. Right, 5 others.
4 others now.
Jamie Oliver.
Why would you take Jamie Oliver?
Just food and that. You need someone, because they say that like you know, you can feel down if you don't eat.
He couldn't convince 8-year-olds to eat a carrot. What's he going to do in this brave new world? They're all going to be on turkey Twizzlers.
I think he's got the right attitude. He wouldn't be faffing about. Remember, we've landed now on this new world.
Yeah.
I don't know what it's like. The people who've
Listen,
made me
I
go,
love Jamie Oliver. I think he's great.
Yeah.
But he wouldn't be in my 5 people to start a new world. That's all I'm saying. Nor would Patrick Moore, because he knew the way.
Well, what chef would you pick?
I wouldn't pick a chef. Why would I pick a chef?
Because you want someone who's going to, like I say, food's important. When you're low, there's nothing better. If you're a bit fed up, there's nothing better than having a good...
But Carl, I don't think you quite grasped that these people have to start civilization again. They have to be wise people who can make the laws.
Yeah, and before you do all that, you need a good meal. So Jamie Oliver, that's his job. It's like when we get there, that's when he kicks in.
Right.
He's the first one, really,
Can I
who
suggest
gets
something?
going.
Just to save 2 places on Patrick Moore and Jamie Oliver, take a map and a cookbook. Okay, who's number 3?
What sort of state is this world in? Does it need...
Oh, he's going to take a fucking gardener. It's like it's
the world, but new.
it's that exactly. It's the world but new, untouched by humans. There's been no fossil fuels burnt, no machinery, no wars, just this Garden of Eden. And you, Patrick Moore and Jamie Oliver pitch up.
Plus, who else, Carl? Go now. First thought.
Attenborough.
Oh God! Again, he's a genius, and he's a bit of a hero of mine. But I don't know if we need Attenborough.
Just because I reckon if it's a new world, you're saying it's the same, but they always say, don't they, that all worlds are different. So I'd want him there, just to sort of, when we're roaming around, because we'll all stick together for a bit, won't we? When we're roaming around.
Then they'll be sick of the sight of you. They go, let's lose Carl.
But you've got 2 men so far who've got a combined age of about 150. I mean, if you're starting a brave new world, dare I say, not going to be around very long. Shouldn't you be taking some younger, fresher blood?
No, not really, because they haven't lived, have they? These have lived, and they can and they're useful, like I say. Patrick Moore's done his bit, he's got us there. Oliver has cooked us a dinner. Day 2, I reckon we'd end that on day 1 there. We'd have a dinner, we'd all have a chat.
I don't think you're thinking of the future.
It's a camping trip.
Exactly, I think you're thinking of the journey, and then the first night. Okay. So you've got
day
David
2.
Attenborough,
Yeah.
you've got Patrick Moore, and you've got Jamie Oliver, you've got 2 other places.
I get the feeling that you're not so much recruiting people for a new world as I'm a celebrity, get me out of here.
As a dinner party with
Yeah.
people you'd like to meet that you've seen on the telly. Oh. Come on, and 2 more.
I'd take someone who's a bit daft. Just so...
No, you don't need to, Carl.
That's covered, believe us.
No, that's what I mean, though. I don't want them having to go at me going, why are you here? I'd point the attention somewhere else. to text someone else who'd sort of wind them up. So
Who's that then?
Paul Denan or someone like that.
It really is. I'm a celebrity. So you've got Patrick Moore, you've got David Attenborough, you've got Jamie Oliver and Paul Denan.
They're starting life again.
Okay then, brilliant. Oh God. Right, one more. This is amazing. This is going to be. I'd love to go back and visit this in 1,000 years. What teachings they laid down. Oh God.
Don't know. It'd have to be a woman. I think you got to have a woman in that little group, haven't you? Who's could have another woman chef or.
It's mainly eating.
He's got that covered with Oliver, but no, he's got to take Nigella in case he's in a cream cake kind of mood.
Oh God. Delia Smith was furious. She packed her bags and everything.
Or a nurse.
Now you're thinking.
Abby Titmus? Carl, I know you like to be kept abreast of all the latest breaking science news. Did you read recently about the blind mice that they have been able to make see again? And hopefully they're whatever they did, which allowed these mice to be able to see again, they're hoping to be able to do with humans in maybe about 10 years' time, or at least begin tests in 10 years' time, which is pretty impressive, isn't it?
How many of these mice did they experiment on?
3, probably.
Right. They were. It wasn't taking place in a farmhouse, was it at all?
I didn't read the intricacies of the.
Did they have tails? Did they still have their tails?
The 3 blind mice?
Because yeah,
I don't know. Again, I'm not sure. Well, what's your concern?
Well, I think I know what happened there.
Really?
Yeah, I think the farmer's wife probably got annoyed at them running after her.
Right. But how could they run after her? Because they're blind.
I don't know. I think they used a sense of smell and hearing. They could hear her clogs, and they followed the sound of the big fat clogs.
Right.
But you know, they got their comeuppance. They lost their tails, so now they're blind with no tails. Is that not the story?
I think you confused.
Okay.
Another more recent story.
Okay.
With that one.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, we'll leave that then.
I don't know.
Carl, thoughts though?
That extraordinary, isn't it? To be able to, to be able to cure blindness would be a remarkable achievement in science.
It is, but it's just that thing how they say they've done it on mice and what have you.
Yeah.
If I was blind and I went in for the meeting with the doctor,
yeah,
and they said, "Do you want yours doing?" and then they said, like, "We've done it on mice," that wouldn't be good enough for me. I'd say, look, when the blind fella gets in, don't say we've done it on mice, just say we've done this on eyes. Because if he goes, what eyes? Just say just a pair of eyes.
yeah.
As soon as you say mouse's eyes, it's like, well, it's not the same, and it sort of, it would make me go, I'll leave it.
Yeah, and then you wake up and you can see, but you've got very tiny eyes right in the you've put in mice eyes. I'm scared of cats.
It's just eyes. I think I just don't like having my eyes messed with, and even if I was blind, I wouldn't like it.
Right.
And I think mine are more active than most, my eyes.
What do you mean?
Well, I went for a what's-her-name, Steve, you don't know. I've had problems with my legs.
Oh, Christ almighty.
He's the same, what are you, 33?
He's a hypochondriac.
And you talk like you're a 7-year-old
honestly,
man.
the slightest thing, he's got time off work for this. We went to the dentist 3 times in 1 week. He goes, no, his leg's rubbed 2 times a week for some reason.
I don't.
In and out of the kidney hospital, and they're going, there's no kidney stone, Mr. Pilkington. He's going, oh, right. Christ almighty, do some fucking work.
No, the thing is, I've been, in the last, like, 30-odd years, I've been working hard, and I've let my body get run down a bit.
How have you, like, you're 30, what are you?
33.
Right, 33, sorry to start off with such a hard question. But, how have you been working for 30 years?
Well, I just have, I sort of, I got on with it.
At 3? At 3?
No, I'm
Well, you
just
didn't get on with anything at school, did you? Because you were just pitching about.
Yeah.
You weren't working out there.
What was the first job you got? How old were you?
I was 15.
Right, okay, so you've been working for 15 years then, okay, good,
Yeah, but
right.
I had my paper round when I was 10, didn't I? And that was hard graft. That's why I'm bald and that. Getting up at 4:30. It all adds up, doesn't it? All adds up. So anyway, when I kicked my height when I was a kid...
He always says this, like it's a classic story that everyone should know.
Everyone knows,
and also
like,
the phrase, kicking my own height.
Yeah.
No,
Explain what you mean.
just kicked my height when I was a kid.
No one understands.
You kicked your leg up to the
kicked
height
me
that
like-
you were at that time.
Yeah.
Yeah. So
I
if
kicked
you were,
my height. It's not a well-known phrase. You can't just go, I kicked my height.
so you're 4.5 foot, and you've put your toe up into the air 4.5 feet by kicking.
Yeah, but I landed on my back.
Right,
I
okay.
don't
Imagine seeing that in the playground. They go, get Karl Pilkington to kick his height. I bet he falls over like a
It
fucking
wasn't in
penguin.
the playground. My dad got me to do it in the garden.
Brilliant.
But
So-
why did
He
you fall
sold
over?
tickets, the neighbours were cracking up. Yeah.
Why did you fall over? Did you hit
I just
yourself in
didn't,
the
I didn't
head?
have to kick the height. I mean, my leg got high up, but I was that chuffed that I got that high. I didn't think of putting my leg down again.
What's it look like? What the fuck did that look like?
He's got to think it all through. I thought it was automatic.
No,
In like,
no.
you
stayed there.
You sort of stayed balanced.
Christ
But you didn't
almighty.
think, well, I'm loving this. This is brilliant, but what should I do now? I
Didn't
got my leg up. I'll just keep it up. Whoa!
It looked like a Hitler salute with his leg. What were you doing?
So anyway, I landed on my back,
Yeah.
and I did some damage, I think. And it's because
Definitely.
of that.
You sure you didn't land on your head?
And it's because of that, like all them years and what have you. I've had like a trapped nerve in my leg.
Right.
So I thought, right, now's the time to have it done, because when you get older, I mean, it was a kidney stone thing. Once you've sort of looked at, you know, death and what have you, it just makes you think, got to start looking after
Do you
your
think you
body.
could die of the slightly bad leg that you've had for 15 years?
Well, it
Do you
just,
think that'll eventually kill you?
well, it could do if I can't run away from danger quick enough.
Right. Again, you're thinking of Jurassic Park coming true.
Well, whatever though, I'm just saying, you've got
Yeah.
to look after yourself. You know, if there's anyone listening,
could
out
always
there
hop.
who's got a problem, get it sorted.
I'll tell you
That's
what
all I'm
though,
saying.
if you have to fight off danger and you kick them, put the leg back down immediately after.
So anyway, so I went to see this fella, to like a professional leg rubber.
Professional leg rubber. Yeah.
And he sort of said a few things that were quite interesting. Remember that time when we had a chat on the last lot of like podcasts? I said, "Am I in charge of my brain, or is my brain in charge of me?"
Yeah, do you remember what I said? That's the most stupid thing you've ever said.
Yeah. Well, listen to this then. So I go and see this leg rubber,
Professional leg rubber. Yeah.
right? And he is professional.
Yeah.
Right. so
Remember, a leg rubber. You haven't said doctor at any point in this conversation.
leg rubber.
So this whatever, however profound this is, it came from a man who is self-confessed professionally leg rubbing.
not just leg.
Does he do
back,
left and right? Or
back rubbing as well? He does it all. Right.
Right.
So I'm in
Professional
there,
rubber.
and I didn't mention about how I thought my brain was in charge of me and stuff. I'm lying there, he's bending me about and what have you. The first problem he came across is that my nerves aren't long enough for my
Right.
body.
I don't know.
my nerves aren't long enough for your body.
He was lifting my legs up and I was going, right, whoa, stop that a minute, that's hurting that. He's like, what do you mean? He said, I've only got them like just about...
Well, that's your tendons.
No, but your nerves are in your legs as well, and your tendons don't hurt, it's your nerves that kick in. It's your nerves that make you go,
Yeah,
"That
but they
hurts."
hurt because your tendons are being overstretched.
Well, I'm just telling you what he said. Right, so he lifted the leg up, and I went, right,
Was
stop
this
doing
above a
that.
laundrette, this surgery?
No, it's a proper place. He had like towels and all that on the...
Oh, okay.
Oh, he's got towels
Oh,
then.
okay, yeah.
Yeah.
So,
Definitely a laundrette.
so I'm lying there.
Other people's towels.
He's got towels, underpants,
yeah,
bras.
halfway through he said, you haven't got 20p, have you, for the dryer? Okay.
So I'm lying there, and he lifts the leg up,
Yeah.
and I'm like, oh, that hurts a lot. So he said, oh yeah, short nerves. And I said, what do you mean? He said, you know, your outside of the body is longer than your inside.
Right, he doesn't sound like a doctor. He does not sound like a
The
doctor.
outside of your body's
Yeah.
longer than the inside.
So he had me lying on my front and what have you, and he was sort of crushing me back.
Right.
And he was going, does that hurt? I said, yeah. It was like 48 quid this as well. Putting me through all this pain and what have you.
Well, you got some good advice, though.
He said, you're pretty stressed. And I said, yeah. So it's, you know, I've quite a bit of stress in my life. And I explained to him about the kidney stones and that. I said, oh, you know, that's
He went, oh, shut the fuck up.
He probably said that. He said that's where you were probably got a lot of tenseness. And
A lot of tenseness. Is that a phrase he used as a
no,
trained
he's
professional
he's
rubber? Or?
He's a doctor. He's definitely a doctor.
So anyway, he said, do you relax much?
You haven't got any Lenore, have you? I want these sheets to come out nice and soft.
He said, do you, you know, you should learn to meditate or something. He said, because you're all tensed up. We're living in a stressful world, as they tell me about it. So when I was telling him that I have problems relaxing, he said, that you're obviously the sort of person
Who's a
Who's gullible enough to spend 46 quid for this hokum?
He said, you're the sort of person whose brain is in charge of them. rather than them being in charge of the
So
brain.
all you did was you met a person as stupid as you.
Yeah.
No, but I thought it's interesting that this is what he does for a living.
Yeah.
And he picked up, that was the first visit, that's the first, I'd only been there about 22 minutes.
Yeah.
You get half an hour for 48 quid.
Right.
But, he picked up on that
Yeah.
within like 15,
No, he saw
20
a right
minutes.
fucking sucker coming. No, he did pick up on that, yeah.
But
Okay,
anyway,
don't go to him again.
The reason, well, I am doing, I've got locked into it, I've got to go at least another 3 times.
Why?
I'm trying
What
to
do
get
you
out of it. I don't know, I didn't realise that you have to have a minimum amount of things. So what I'm saying
I can't
is,
wait. Well, what's the wisdom he's going to come up with next week? That'll be brilliant. I can't. Yeah.
No, but what I'm saying
Your
is,
blood's paranoid.
we were talking.
You've got jealous bones. You're the sort of person whose stomach's hungrier than you. What absolute fucking nonsense.
Do you know, like how we were talking about eyes, weren't we? He said the thing is, you know, you've got to be able to relax, and the way to do it is to focus. Right? He said, I said, what do you mean? He said, when you go to sleep.
You're the sort of person whose eyes can see further than you can.
He said, when you go to sleep,
Close your eyes and see. Instead of just leaving them open staring at the
But
ceiling.
Carl, keep breathing.
Yeah, keep breathing. Close your eyes. You're not dead. It may seem like it, but you're not. You're just asleep.
so he said,
Oh, fuck me.
he said, what you've got to do when you go to sleep, focus on your toe. Right?
Okay.
He said, and just think about nothing else. I said,
He's a witch! Did he say you did put a toad under the bed?
no, he just said focus on the toe and see how you go on and what have you. Next time you come in, let me know. Anyway, I gave this a go, focusing on the toe.
So what does this mean? You mean you sat in bed staring at your toes?
No, this is it. He said, like, lie down,
Visualising
shut
it.
your eyes, and sort of look at it, sort of thing. So I was lying there, and it just wasn't working because
Oh, Carl, this isn't medicine.
I was,
You were,
even though
you were
my
thinking of a
eyes,
finger.
well, no,
He found out he was thinking of someone else's toe. Next
It
day
doesn't
someone
work.
called up and said, Carl, my toe's better.
no, the problem was I was still using my eyes even though I had them shut.
Oh God! Just when I think he could never come up with something stupid, he pulls that one out of the bag.
Right. So what does that mean?
Oh God!
You were still What does that mean?
I was straining them. I had them shut, but I was sort of looking down at me foot.
You were trying to see through your eyelids at your toe.
Well, I was looking down, so I'm thinking that's where the foot is. Because of that, I was straining them and they were stinging, so I had to pack it in.
I'm gonna die! I am going to die! Right.
So if anything, this
okay.
guy's just made your stress levels worse.
Yeah,
That's
I said that to
amazing.
him.
That's amazing. Okay, if someone out there's listening, could you put in order the top 10 most stupid things Carl's ever said? And to me, that is number 1. That is now number. Well, that's overtaken. Is your brain in charge of you, or is you in charge of your brain? Oh, that's amazing.